Almost 2 weeks of New Year have passed. Unbelievable, right? New Year equals new changes, new aims, and New Year's resolutions, of course. Some of us try to lose weight, quit smoking. We promise to ourselves that we will study systematically or read more books than previous year. And yet, 2 weeks of New Year passed. And I am sure that almost half of us gave up on our New Year's resolutions already. But why? After all, we have our aim, which is, or rather should be, smart. It means that it should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bounded. However, we give up so easily. And today, I will tell you why. The first thing is, what the hell effect? Yes, this is not a joke. Something like this really exists in psychology. And this is something what can very quickly ruin all of your efforts. It was firstly observed in 1975 by 2 scientists who invited a group of people for an ice cream flavor test. And those people were people being on a diet, so they had made better or worse resolutions connected with food, and people who had no breaks in eating. The participants were all mixed and divided into 3 different groups. The first 2 groups had been asked to drink 1 or 2 milkshakes before the test started, and the third group got absolutely nothing, but they could still eat ice creams for free. And what did the test show? Actually, for people who had no diet restrictions, they reacted in a completely natural way. So, if they drank 2 milkshakes, they weren't hungry, so they ate less. If they drank just 1 milkshake, they ate more, and people who didn't get the milkshake, they ate the most. But what was intriguing, that people being on a diet reacted completely upside down. They reacted in a completely opposite way. So, people who drank 2 milkshakes tucked into ice creams. Why did something like this happen? Actually, drinking those milkshakes was equal to breaking their promise. And that's what the hell effect. We have our aim. We have our resolution. And suddenly something happens that makes us break the promise. Because our grandmother baked a cake, and she would get offended for life if you didn't take a piece of it. Because there was a huge sale, and you couldn't just pass an occasion like this. Unfortunately, it is very likely that you will end up with an empty baking tray, even if you weren't especially hungry, or with an empty wallet and thousands of unnecessary items. Because if we have already broken the resolution, then what the hell? There is no sense in keeping it. You're starting to perceive yourself as someone who is not able to keep your promise, so there is no sense in keeping it. You can always start tomorrow again. Or better, from Monday. Sounds familiar? I know. So, what can we do? What's the solution? Actually, if you fell into what the hell effect trap, just like I did and thousands of people did, maybe it's a perfect time to create an emergency goal. What is an emergency goal? Actually, it's a traverse mounted low enough to leap, even if you have an injury. Just try to imagine a highway. On a highway, we have 2 kinds of lanes. The left lane and the right lane. The left lane is for fast and furious people. And the right lane is for people who drive more carefully and more slowly. So let's say that your top goal is your left lane, and emergency goal is the right lane. So yes, you move to your aim more slowly, but still forward. As an example, I will tell you one story. I have a friend who was addicted to social media. But let's be honest, who is not? And she bet if she could do without her Facebook for one day. And guess what? She couldn't, of course. But the next time I saw her, she did something that inspired me. She set an emergency goal. And she said, "It's okay if I check my Facebook, but I will do it for no longer than 1 minute." Simple, smart, just brilliant. And she managed to reduce the waste of time from a few hours a day to a few minutes. Unbelievable. Okay, but what if I have my emergency goal and still I give up? Maybe it's the second thing. It's all about the lack of monitoring. One of the most common mistakes is that we do not track our progress. This is one of these techniques which guarantees incredible effects. If we stake our behavior out every day, analyze it, we can keep our mind on the goal more strongly, and we are able to eliminate our mistakes. Because taking every little success gives additional power to keep going. And you have to take in every day, even if it might be 20 failures in a row. Because psychology shows that every new aim, every new challenge, every new resolution is a change. And change is not a consistent process, but it consists of many important stages which are crucial if you want to get from point A to point B. And unfortunately, the closer we are to the point B, we give up more easily. In creating habits, 2 last steps are the most important: maintenance and denouement. Denouement is finishing the whole process, when we are sure that the habit will stay with us forever. Maintenance is the step before. So you're not tripping up, you feel confident, and you have your results. And actually, that's the moment when you give up. You resign from monitoring your results because you think that you're advanced enough. And trust me, you're not. So just print out a simple schedule on a calendar and check. It must be something real, what you can look at and work with. And be honest with yourself, because there is nothing wrong with having a bad day. Everyone can have it. But what if I have my emergency goal, and I check every day, and still I fail? The last barrier hides in ourselves. It's all about our values, our priorities, and our possibilities. Why do we try to change something? If you learned for your test just to get 5, you won't really learn anything, so you're wasting your time. If you get up every little morning just to impress someone you don't even like, your motivation is very weak, so you're wasting your time. If you want to get a promotion, but you know that this promotion will be equal to neglecting your family and other relationships, maybe it's a perfect time to think about what is the most important value and issue for you. So why do we try to change something? For better grades? Award, promotion, maybe fame. The answer is really simple though. We fight for becoming a better version of ourselves. We instigate the action. We take the whole risk to reach higher every day. So remember, if you really want to succeed, set your emergency goal in order not to fall into what the hell effect trap. Secondly, monitor your results. And the most importantly, think about your values and your priorities. Because we have the strength to change our lives. and we have the strength to inspire our surroundings. As Joe Rowling said, we do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. And the very last thing I want you to remember. The only one who can fully take advantage of your potential is you. Thank you very much.